Good afternoon. Welcome back to the Newbie Shnoobie Hebrew Aleph Bet Beginner Reading Pre-Module Program. Boy, that's a mouthful. So we have arrived at lesson number 6, and we're going to be doing some simple reading practice. I know you all have been working really hard on memorizing your consonants, and hopefully you've been printing out the tracing sheets and working with your Aleph Bet cards. So here's our simple reading practice sheets. And so today's lesson will be an abbreviated lesson. It's because we will not be introducing any new consonants to you today. Let's try our hand at reading together. So I'd like you to at least follow along with me. You may not be able to do all this 100% accurate or even 50% accurate, but I don't want you to be discouraged. I want you to, at the very least, listen to me while I read through this, and then we'll do it again a second time and try to sound these out with me. First one is B, he, D, chet, zadi. This is a tough one. Yayich. So you've got a yod, kamates, that says ya, a yod and a hirak that says ye, and then you have a chaf sofit without any degation in it. So that would be a guttural from the back of the throat, the ch sound. Let's try that again. Yayich. Dodi. Dodi is a Hebrew word that means my beloved. Also, it's the same basic meaning of the word David. My name is David, so in Hebrew, my name would be pronounced David. You have a dalet in the name David, you have a vav, and you have another dalet, David. It's just the vowels are slightly different. So the yod on the end means my. And the meaning of the name David, it means beloved. All right, next line. Chol, came, cha, coat, kamo. So this word kamo, it has a shva immediately under the kaf. Shva is considered either a non-vowel, but it behaves as if it were a half vowel. So what does that actually mean? It means you'd pronounce it has the S sound, and you'd pronounce it in half the speed which you would normally pronounce the sound. So you wouldn't hold on to the so it's not a segol. It's not it's like that. So you barely begin to enunciate, and then you're quickly moving on to the next syllable. So it's not camo, it's camo, camo. Much the same as a word in English like police. Now we know how police is spelled. We don't say police, the police. Now maybe an immigrant, someone new to English language may pronounce it like that, but we say it rather fast. And so it's police. So that really mimics the speed at which the sound of a shva would make. All right, moving on. Kech, keg, kulam. So kulam is a Hebrew word. Kol means all. Kulam means all of them. And when I greet you and I say shalom lakulam, in modern vernacular, that would be a greeting, shalom, or may it be well with you, kulam. Technically all of them, but it's understood in modern Hebrew to mean all of you, the group of people that you're addressing. Next line. Kulam. Lema. Lazah, Lita, Lavam. So this one, reminder, that's a mem that comes at the end of the word. It's called a mem sophi. That's one of the letters in the alphabet that have a final form. That's different from when it appears in the middle of a word or at the beginning of a word. It's got to be the last consonant in a word and be one of the final form letters to have a different shape. And so just remember that this letter, or I'm making a mess out of it, is the same as this letter here. Just this one comes at the end of the word. All right, moving on. This is the Hebrew word for these, Elah. Elah. And that's a good example. I was talking about Sarai. We covered some vowels recently, and Sarai, that can say a. Many times it says the a makes the a sound in the Hebrew language, but this is a good example where it says a. And you just need to learn by using the language in which cases it's appropriate to say a, which cases it's appropriate to say a. And I will certainly help you with that. Levad. Levad. Hu. Temi. Temi. Mimeh. B'mi. B'mi. Emet. Emet. Now, emet is the Hebrew word for truth, and it's really pronounced emet. So the enunciation, when you have a word that has two segols back to back, it's called a segolet. So we'd pronounce a word like that always on the first syllable and not the last syllable. So it's not emet, it's emet. And emet is the word for truth in Hebrew, but it has a different spelling. So it actually has a tav. We've not covered the letter tav yet in this course, but tav is the last letter of the Hebrew Aleph Bet, but it just happens to have the same sound as the tet. They both have the T sound. Emet. Tamid. Tamid. So in Judaism, there is something known as the Ner Tamid. It's the eternal light, and it is a light that is always shining in a lantern that is over, it hangs over the ark that contains the Torah scrolls. It's called the Ner Tamid. Ner meaning light, Tamid meaning eternal. That's an actual word. Mavet. Last line. Lechem. Lechem is a Hebrew word. Lechem is the Hebrew word for bread. So whenever you are about to eat a morsel of bread, a bread product, as a religious Jewish person, you would stop and you would pray the Hamotzi blessing. And then you would be able to partake after thanking God for bringing forth bread from the earth. Vim. Dim. Chamim. Atem. Emdu. Ga. Thought I'd throw a simple one in there at the end so you could celebrate. I made it through. All right, let's clear the board. We're going to try this again. And we're going to be running through this a bit quicker this time. B, he, adi, chet, zadi, yayich, dodi, chol, kem, cha, kot, kamo, kech, keg, kulam, kulam, lema, lazeh, lita, lavam, ela, lavad, chu, temi, mime, met, bami, emet, tamid, maveh, lechem, vim, dim, chamim, atem, imdu, ga. All right, great job. We're gonna, because this is such a short lesson, I am going to run through this one last time. For those that you feel like you're doing pretty well with what we've learned so far, and you're able to not just follow along with me, you're able to actually read some of this on your own. And so I'm going to pick up the speed. And if you are challenged by the speed at which I've already done it, then you can turn the video off at this point, and there's no need to listen to the last segment. And I will be ending the class here in just a moment. Bi, hi, adi, chet, zadi, yayich, dodi, cho, kain, cha, kot, kmo, kech, keg, kulam, kulam, lema, lazeh, lita, lavam, ele, lavad, chu, temi, mime, mate, bami, emet, tamid, maveh, lechem, vim, dim, chamim, atam, imdu, ga. Okay, great. So I'm going to put the cap on it and look forward to meeting you for the next lesson, lesson number 7. We'll be covering some new consonants and showing you some fancy pictures and doing some tracing and all that good stuff. So thank you for listening, and I will see you on the other side. Lahidrot. Shalom, shalom. Bye now.